Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will start the presentation by explaining about the introduction. The establishment of Islamic banks dates back to the early 1916 when Ahmad Al-Nagar started the Mid-Goma project. The project was based on the principle of the profit-loss sharing system. However, the first bank to operate in the region was the Dubai Islamic Bank, established in 1975. Over the years, the Islamic banking industry has developed significantly. The increasing number of questions that the industry has to answer has become more complex. Some of these include ethical investment and gharar. The most common contracts that the Islamic banking community has criticized are the Bai al-Ina, Bai al-Din, and BBA. These contracts are considered to be backdoor transactions that are not related to conventional banking process.
Next, with the changing idea of human civilization and requirements, Islam obliged the consolidation of highly durable highlight to adjust to these changes. Maslahah, taking into account its advantages, is expected to shape human requirements. It subsequently is such a device that permits imagination, dynamism, and adaptability to social strategies. The Sharia points, or Maqasid al-Sharia, are expected to advance benefit and repulse ills, to dischargement from the growth of his impulse and likes, so he might be the worker of Allah by decision, as he is one without it, as indicated by Imam Shatibi as per Yazi. These objectives are expressed in each Sharia regulation, including the benefit of Salat, Jihad, Qisas, and others. Third, they are not expressed unequivocally. This examination looks to address a couple of disagreement inside the extension and break them down on the sizes of Maslahah and Maqasid al-Sharia to offer more dependable and moral speculation to the Islamic financial framework.
I will begin by discussing the issue of the article. This article aims to deal with several contracts within the scope of the article and evaluate them based on Maslahah and Maqasid al-Sharia. Topic to be discussed are Maslahah, Maqasid al-Sharia, Masalah requirement, contemporary Islamic banking practices, by Bitaman Ajil contract, right, by Al-Ina, trade, and the priority of Maqasid over micro Maqasid. The first is Maslahah. In terms of the term meaning, a tool that enables innovation, dynamics, and adaptability in social programs, taking into account its advantages. From the point of view, accessibility of any source of scripture, Masalah is divided into three groups within the scope of usul fiqh, namely Masalah Mutawarah, Masalah al-Mulgha, and Masalah Mursalah. For example, al-Masalah al-Mursalah is a benefit that is not clearly stated as a favor and is not explicitly rejected in the text, which can be seen in the alternate verse, which state that the male part occurs several times more than the female part. In addition, the Maqasid al-Sharia aim to promote the advantage and avoid the disadvantage. Moreover, according to Imam Shatibi, the Maqasid of Sharia can free man from his lust, so as to be an obedient servant of Allah. He also said that hajiyat and tahsiniyat are part of the 5 daruriyat necessary for the welfare of society and include in the real of nas.
On the other hand, the condition for masalih does not allow everything that contributes to a profit. Some restrictions limit the advantages in order to accommodate them. Aside from that, the Bai Bitaman Ajil in the short form is called BBA contract, which is quite similar to Murabahah or Bai Muajjal, allows the buyers to pay later. Another serious charge level against BBA's finance is its participation in so-called hidden Bai al-Inah transaction, in which the lender buys and sells things back to the consumers. Lastly, if the seller's identification is the same as the customer's, Murabahah might become Bai al-Inah. Many essential principles of Islamic banking are violated by financial statement on Buy Al-Ina. There is no genuine sale or trade. There is merely some documentation that allows for party swaps, not true commerce.
For identify the article that contains new findings to the field of Islamic finance and banking system are built on the idea of economic prosperity, togetherness and justice, equal distribution of money, and individual freedom within the framework of social welfare. Next, the majority significant information of Islamic banking products are by Vitamin Ajil BBA, by Al-Din, Islamic credit cards by Al-Ina, contracts and Tawaru. Besides, the Rahnu, which is a form of debt paperwork in its original sense, is an example of copying Islamic banking tradition. Lastly, the significant information that sukuks can be based on a variety of contracts including mudarabah, musarakah, murabahah, ijarah and many others, all of which are based on Islamic financial.
Try to relate the implication of the articles towards society, policy and practical. This contract has implication or effect on society, policy and practical. Implication on society is consistent with its concept of being benefiting and aimed at shaping human needs. It is a tool and enable creativity, dynamism and flexibility in terms of society's social policy. This concept also has implication for practical. Maqasid al-Shariah is great to benefiting and repel harm to human beings. For example, for this implication is providing employment, incentive and trade activities for economic development. It is clear that this concept is important for intellectual well-being, artistic and cultural well-being.
What is the current issue related to the article? The application of Maqasid al-Shariah and Maslahah in Islamic banking is the current topic. Maslahah is an Arabic word that means benefit, interest, welfare or advantage. The maslahi, plural of maslahah, are categorized into three within the range of usul al-fiqh depending on concentration of any description refers. There are three categories: Syariah maslahah like al-masalih, al-mutabarah, al-masalih al-muhad, and wihbah zuhalil. Maqasid al-Shariah aimed at service order, getting a benefit, preventing harms, establish quality. Each of four duai purpose serve a particular deni goal. For example, naf, nals, al, and mal.
Let me continue the current issue related to the article. In addition, these maqasid come into three categories like daruriyat, hajiyat, and tasniyat. The daruriyat refer to some of the things that are underlying vital for the sake of dunya and din, and whose absolute general requires. Life, faith, education, lineage, and property are the five key masalah. The hajiyat are the interests that are required for society growth. They are absent. They may not end in cause, but it may result in unhappiness and hardship. And most the tasniyah. The tasniyah are beautification interests that are lead to the desirable position for the purpose of ibadah. The Sharia advocates lines of the body and apparel recommends wearing perfume.
Finally, the Islamic financial system that is currently encapsulated in Islamic form, banking and takaful industry for Sharia purpose. Ultimately,
Islamic Bank needs to abolish all controversial contracts. It also can hinder the growth and progress of Islamic banks and the financial industry. As a result, a narrow view of understanding Sharia by focusing only on the form of legality.